So, with MLP Season 6 well on its way, I think it's supposed to come out next month. Actually, a few weeks from now, now that I think about it. But yeah, MLP is, for the season premiere, we're getting the birth of Shining Armor and Princess Cadence's daughter, and as well, yeah, pretty much Twilight's niece, and she's the first naturally born Alicorn since Celestia and Luna. Now, the big thing is, a lot of people are I've noticed in the fandom that a lot of people are like, you know what, we're cool with this. Although I have the weirdest feeling if this came out in around Season 2 and Season 3, everyone's shit would have been collectively flipped. But the thing is that we're starting to learn more and more about the universe itself, and I'm hoping with the premiere of, the arrival of, what's her name, Flurryheart, right? Flurryheart? Which also sounds like the most OC name since OC. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the thing is with this is that I'm hoping with this episode, or these two episodes, because they're usually two-parters, I'm hoping with these two episodes, we get the explanation of where Alicorns come from, where naturally born Alicorns come from. And the other thing with this is that I'm hoping maybe we'll see more, or maybe we'll see where they all went. That's the thing, is that Alicorns, since the premiere, have always been, the big thing. A lot of people have wondered, why aren't there more? Why are there only 4? Well, now we're having 5, but why are there only so little left? Were they wiped out? Did something happen to them? Did something trap them? And the other thing is that Alicorns have been called demigods, and while they are Alicorns themselves are incredibly powerful, they're Celestia and Luna can raise the sun and moon, but as we learned in Heartswarming Eve, that's exactly what the unicorns could do, although I imagine the unicorns probably had to make it a group effort where Celestia and Luna can just one-shot it in not too long, whereas the unicorns, like I said, it'd probably have to be a group effort. But the thing is with this Alicorn thing is that's what I'm really hoping for, is that we get more Alicorn stuff, and where did the Alicorns go? You see, my headcanon is that there was something equivalent to the Time War, and all the Alicorns except Celestia and Luna were wiped out, leaving only Celestia and Luna until eventually, Luna's ascension into Nightmare Night, leaving the last one. And that would and I really am hoping we get a Celestia episode. I know a lot of people don't like Celestia. I don't understand why the hate. I can understand why in some cases, like, she's never been able to protect her people properly. But on the other hand, I'm like, she protected her people from not only her own sister to make herself pretty much, technically, the last of her kind, but also she spent 1,000 years guarding Equestria until Twilight, and her friends got the elements of harmony. So pretty much, yeah, she had been doing a damn good job. She's just been kind of dropping the ball recently. She's been really dropping the ball as of late. She's more become like Zordon or something of that nature. Anyway, so with MLP Season 6, I would really like to see a explanation, as at least, because that's the thing, is that we've been seeing a lot in the past. I want to say since Season 4 through 4 and 5, we've seen some major world building. You could say that, yeah, we got that in Season 3, but you can't argue that it really got big in the latter 2 seasons. So that's kind of the huge thing right there, is that there's been some major world building, and I'm really hoping they explain this mystery of the disappearance of the Alicorn, or why there were only 2 for so long. It wasn't exactly rule of 2 either. It wasn't exactly like unless you're Lauren Faust, but then again, yeah, it was supposed to be the rule of 2, but she no longer has any creative say in the show, and Megan McCarthy is the showrunner, and even though, yeah, that's kind of that's what she's supposed to do, this is, Hasbro tells her to do it, she has written some pretty good stuff, although there has been some rather confusing and rather lackluster stuff to go along with it, but I think the good outweighs the bad. Now, let me lay some headcanon down on you for a bit. Like I said, my headcanon has always been that the Alicorns were at war with another race, or something even worse than probably Discord or Chrysalis or Sombra, and the Alicorns were systematically wiped out. All that were left were 2. It was something equivalent to Order 66. Now, obviously, that probably isn't the case in the actual show, but I always kind of equivalated it to Order 66 or something along the lines of the Time War. And the villain I always pictured of who was the big destroyer of the Alicorn race was Grogar. Remake of a classic character. Yeah, Grogar was, I believe, a Gen 3 villain. Yeah, he was a Gen 3 villain who was a goat necromancer. Yeah, he was a legit necromancer. He's and I always envisioned to bring him back into the series as kind of like a equivalent to Darkseid or Emperor Palpatine. Kind of character. Make him I've always give in my headcanon for Grogar, I've always given him the moniker of the Emperor of Evil. He is the equivalent of Darkseid in Equestria, or like I said, Emperor Palpatine, where he is this end-all be-all villain that is just going to wreck your shit backwards no matter what you do. And I always had it that he was the one who's set up a majority of the events that led into all of Equestria, he was the one who who used the nightmare power to begin the corruption of Luna. He was also the one who more or less drove he was the one who told Chrysalis and the Changeling Hive to go to Equestria and feed off of it. He was also the one who more or less, from the sidelines, he more or less manipulated Starlight Glimmer to creating her own cult. And through that, he's been this master puppeteer for thousands of years, and all for the end game of he wants to make the Elements of Harmony useless. Even though, the Elements of Harmony, they're now part of the tree, but guess what? He's now unlocked rainbow power. And my thing is that now that the Elements of Harmony are out of the way and they've given rise to the rainbow power, he wants to make the Rainbow of Darkness, which if you know Gen 1, MLP, then you know what I'm talking about with the Rainbow of Darkness. I know, it was a Tyrek thing, but in the original series, but I think you could change it a bit to Grogar. And my thing is that that thousands of years ago, he tried to use the Rainbow power to create the rainbow, corrupt it and make it the Rainbow of Darkness, but the Alicorns stopped him, but he got and banished him and his followers in his kingdom of Tambalon. That was the name of his kingdom, but he got the last laugh, and locked the locked the Alicorns in a pocket universe where they're frozen in time and space forever, similar to how what happened to Gallifrey. All that survived were Celestia and Luna after the giant war to protect all of creation, because, how I would do it is it's the equivalent of the Rainbow of Darkness is the equivalent of the anti-equation from DC Universe. And that was the thing, is that's why it got the rainbow power got locked away for thousands of years, because, Grogar Grogar still wants to create the Rainbow of Darkness and plunge the entire universe into darkness. Why? Because he's fucking evil, that's why. So that's always been my headcanon. Now, obviously it may not exactly be that dark or be that story at all, but that's what I'm sticking with for the time being. And I'll be totally fine, because guess what? It's just my headcanon. That's just how it is. And if it gets ruined, oh well, I'll just have to work with what they newly introduce. So that's kind of the big thing is... could this season be more or less the search for for more Alicorns? And the other thing is that I've recently discovered that there's been an announcement from Hasbro that their toy line is going to be more action oriented for MLP. Yeah, you read that right. Apparently, the MLP toy line is going to be called the Guardians of Harmony. I'm not shitting you. The actual MLP toy line. There's an actual MLP toy line coming out called the Guardians of Harmony, and one of the figures is a 2-figure set of Shining Armor riding on adult dragon Spike's back, and I'm like, I really hope we get that in an episode. And another one's Armored Twilight fighting a Changeling, and I'm like, good God, this is amazing, because now they know their target audience. They finally got it. So, maybe instead of calling it Friendship is Magic anymore, it'll be called MLP, Guardians of Harmony. And we'll get more action-oriented episodes. Who fucking knows? So, you guys tell me, what do you guys think of the arrival of more Alicorns? Would you like to see them? Would you guys not? And what do you think happened to the Alicorns? Do you think they're dead? Do you think they're hiding in somewhere? Or do you think they're just throughout space and time guarding the universe from things more dangerous than, let's say, a goat with shadow powers? Although that's my headcanon, so yeah, that's not it. That'll probably never be true. But I would like to see Grogar in some capacity of the series. Not as like a one and done villain. Please don't make Grogar like this single one and done villain. Make him like a season long villain. That's something we haven't encountered yet. Well, you could argue, oh, Starlight Glimmer was a season long villain. No, she just showed up at the season finale and became redeemed by the end of it. So I'd like to see like a season long villain. Like he's here at the beginning of the season and he's like the threat. He and his forces are the threat throughout the entire season, and then he's finally defeated at the end of season 6. Or you can just keep him around for season 7, make him like a recurring villain. I don't know. Just that's what I'd like to see. No more one and done villains, and no more redeemable villains. Seriously, in the comics they redeemed Sombra, and I was like, really? He did some really terrible things, probably more terrible, just as terrible as Starlight Glimmer, and she got a redemption. So the only villain I think is not redeemed is Chrysalis. Well, the Flim Flam brothers aren't redeemed either, but they're not really villains. They're just assholes. So anyway, I'm getting on a tangent. So once again, really interested to see what you guys have to say about this. And also, I hope you all enjoyed this vid, and I will see you guys later.